Welcome to Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly look at the organizations and individuals providing resources for Rhode Island seniors, caregivers, and professionals.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It is 9 o'clock on Friday, and you are watching me, Deb Burton, the host of Friday Friends and Executive Director of RI Elder Info. And as you all know, every week we bring you information and resources that you or someone you know needs to know about. So make sure you hit the like button, the share button, the bells, the whistles, all those social media cues that say, hey, check this out. Today, we're going to be speaking with Carol Costa from the Senior Agenda Coalition about what their new conference is going to be all about this year, and they're switching things up. It's amazing. We've got to get the word out. So please make sure you share this, because all of us joining together, there's strength in numbers. So as you all know, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We could not do this without the support of our sponsors. So a huge thank you to Point 32 Health Foundation, United Healthcare, and especially McCarthy Law. Here's a message from McCarthy Law.
Here at McCarthy Law, we practice in the areas of estate planning, long-term care planning, elder care law, and residential real estate. Our focus is really on providing peace of mind to our clients.
If you're interested in scheduling a consultation with our office, you can feel free to reach out to us at 401-541-5540. You can also reach out via website at www.mccarthylawri.com. You also should check out our social media, both on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn for some helpful tips and tricks.
Welcome, Carol Costa.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Yes.
How are you doing, Deb?
Excellent, excellent. So you have been in your role for just a little bit over a year, and Senior Agenda Coalition of Rhode Island, I feel like, is really taking off. Can you share with everybody what is Senior Agenda Coalition of Rhode Island?
So, yes, Deb, thank you. And thank you for having us. We're so thrilled to be here and all the good work that you do in raising awareness about all things that are older adult and in this aging space and this adult disability space. There's so many resources. And I just want to thank you for that publicly, because it's really, really important. So thank you. So what we do is we're, obviously we're a coalition. We're a coalition of not only members, organization and affiliate members who are in this space, who go out into the community and present as many resources as we can to people as they age, but also their families. So but one of the things that we do really well is we delve into policy and we research policy that impacts people within the laws and policies in the state of Rhode Island, right? So what happens is when we see something that needs to be addressed through research and interacting with the people who make these decisions and craft this policy, we have ongoing discussions so that when the legislative term comes up, we're ready and prepared to create testimony, present testimony, and create policy positions on these important pieces of law. So that's a lot of what we do. So a lot of the things that we accomplish aren't so tangible to people, right? It's not like you're hungry and I give you a sandwich. What we are is you're hungry for good policy, and we go up to the State House and make sure that that's delivered, right? So that's a really important aspect of our work. And in this year's session, we were very successful. In spite of a tough year, it was a tough year at the GA up there. So we enabled language budget to expand eligibility for the Medicare Savings Program. It's huge, and we're going to continue that work. We also supported bills that keep with the pillars of what we do, and that is make sure that community supports are there, adequate health care, workforce development. All of those things impact us as we age, particularly in long-term care, nursing homes, assisted livings. So there doing this policy work. So it's exciting. It's wonderful. And now is our chance to share a lot of what we do with all the wonderful people who help us achieve these goals.
That's a lot of work. And I feel like right now, if someone has thoughts, opinions about the direction of policies or the direction of programs, that their voice really needs to be heard. And it sounds like from what you're saying that that's really where Senior Agenda's strength comes from, is the power of the voice.
Absolutely. I've said many times in a lot of my testimony this year at the General Assembly was, it's good when I can look in the eyes of a legislator and say, we are speaking for the people who can't be here to speak. And that's powerful. That's a powerful statement. And I use that as much as I can because, and here's the thing, those legislators are up there reading bills and trying to pass good law, and there's so much there. So having the ability to kind of cut through that, get to the crux of the matter where we're saying to these folks, look, we're here on behalf of a population that isn't always, mobile, to find a parking space at the State House and park and walk in. And, I know it's some days it's tough on me, to be honest with you, to get up there, find a spot, walk in, find the hearing. So it's part of the process, right? So we make sure that they know who we're speaking on behalf of, depending on the policy. And accessibility was big here in housing, accessibility, mobility issues. So all of the things that impact older adults and adults with disabilities, yes, we're giving voice to sometimes the voiceless. And that's part of, obviously, our pillars of advocacy. But it also summons the rest of the people who are impacted by aging policy, right? So what I mean, Deb, is a lot of people think, and I'm going to make some generalizations here, so you can at me if you want. It's totally fine. I'm good with that. I'm a big girl, right? So the generalization is, like someone who's maybe 45 or just look at 50, like, I'm going to get, and we use that word senior. That's, so it sparks a lot of discussion within the space, right? Because nobody really wants to be called a senior. An older adult is a little bit better. But at the end of the day, it's about aging, right? So let's call it what it is. So there's a lot of people, and I'm going to say particularly women, another generalization, who just don't want to be referred to as old, right? They just don't want it. So that's sort of like a little bit of a hurdle, right? So what I'm trying to do in my leadership here and with the boards, obviously leadership and vision that they have, and this was from the beginning when we met and I interviewed for this job. I said, this needs to be multi-generational. They totally agreed. And so we have to get there, right? So I have to be able to say to a 45-year-old, your gender coalition impacts you. And they kind of look at you with the, like a German Shepherd, they kind of tilt their head a little bit and they look at you and they say, really? And I say, yeah, because it may not be you. It may be your older sibling. It may be your disabled sibling. It may be your beloved uncle or aunt who all of a sudden is in a space that you're completely unfamiliar with. And that has to do with planning, discussions, honest family discussions about aging. And so you don't necessarily have to be 60 or older to be part of this coalition. And to be honest with you, for us to be valuable, we need those voices, right? I need to know what maybe a 40-year-old or 35-year-old who just encountered a life-changing issue with an older adult in their life. I need to know what they're going through because that information is valuable as we legislate and craft policy.
Absolutely. And for the Senior Agenda Coalition of Rhode Island, does it matter if the person is Democratic or Republican? Because it feels like everything right now is broken down red or blue. And it's hard to get through the noise where folks can come together regardless of their political affiliation. Is that something that is an opportunity through Senior Agenda for all of us to come together?
I believe so. And we're completely nonpartisan, right? So to me, I look at good policy, right? So I look at good law. And at the end of the day, I don't care if the lonely person who's living in a decrepit situation, or maybe is trying to through every day. They have loneliness. They have maybe tax burdens. They don't know what to do with their house. Whatever the case. I don't care if you are a rural Republican or an inner city bleed blue Democrat, because at the end of the day, the great equalizer is what? Our health, our mental health, our our um, susceptibility to frauds and scams and loneliness, and the possibility of being taken advantage of in an elder abuse situation, financially or sexually. I mean, this happens. This is it's not easy to talk about. But at the end of the day, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is the policy and the laws that protect every person. And I'm going to say every person because that's what really, at the end of the day, that's what we should be worried about. Okay. So, yes, we have an opportunity to push that aside and talk about policy. And I know that, it's been a little bit tumultuous, right? The new administration came in and they're making some changes, and are they going to reauthorize the Older Americans Act? And what's going to happen to the administrative community living? And oh my heavens, is my Social Security going to be safe, right? So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what political affiliation you have or what news channel you watch. You want your Social Security protected. So maybe this is our way as we come together to talk about good policy and taking care of everyone, that we can put that aside and talk like human beings and just like communicate with one another. You want to take care of your neighbor. You don't go over and you just take care of them, right? If they need a warming room, or their power is out, or they need a cooling room, you could take care of them, right? So that at the end of the day, that's how I roll. I try to live the works of mercy, like just do the work, like feed the hungry, clothe the naked, like just do the stuff that helps your fellow man. So yes, and I believe that is a space that we can all kind of gather around and just put all that nonsense aside for now and just take care of one another. So that I'm hopeful for that. I am. And the more outreach SACRI does, the more we can carry that message.
Yeah,
Spread
I
out goodness.
love how you position that. We all can give back something, and the great equalizer is we are all going to get a little bit older every day. That's not going to change. So that's important. But there are some choppy waters ahead, and I understand that you have a conference coming up to really kind of help people navigate what's coming. Can you share about the conference?
Absolutely. So traditionally, we've had the conference at the Crown Plaza, and I wanted to mix it up. Like, look, I'm a year into this, so I got my feet wet. I started in the small end of the pool. Actually, I kind of started in the middle of the pool. And so I took my water wings off. I'm in the deep end now. So we're gonna swim together, right? So yes, we have choppy water too, because we don't know what's coming. We don't know what the impacts on the budget are gonna be. We don't know what the Medicaid cuts are gonna relate to. So what we have to do, the most important thing we have to do is plan for it, right? So, and we're all in it together. I don't care your socioeconomic class. I don't care your income. It doesn't matter to me, because at the end of the day, these policies will rain down on all of us. And what we need to do is be prepared, right? So, navigating choppy waters, September 25th, 2025, at Rhodes on the Patuxent. We're going to have huge exhibitor space. So we're inviting so many exhibitors. So if you're an exhibitor if you're in assisted living or you're in the aging space, if you do commerce and your your consumers are in this space, join us, please. Okay, so we want you there as an exhibitor because we want you to show off your resources and your goods to. Usually, we're between last year we were a little under 300, and you know, Deb, go big or go home. I'm shooting for 400 this year, so if we can, so you're going to be able to market to a really wonderful group of people. Okay. So we want you to come visit, but we want you to attend. And if you're a younger person who's navigating these waters because a loved one is going through this, we want you there, right? If you're a resident service coordinator doing this work out in the community for either a public housing or a municipality or a senior center, we want you there. If you're a caseworker in one of the CAPS, we want you there because we need to talk about the wide swath of things that impact older adults, right? So the conference is going to be really conversational, and we're gonna talk about a lot of things. So our keynote this year is Dr. Ed Iannichilli. He's wonderful. He's written like 3 or 4 books on culture and being Italian and being a doctor and being a gastroenterologist. And it's not a and his keynote is about getting older in this space, how to navigate certain things, maybe how to talk to your doctor. It's not medical advice, it's just common sense advice from a person who has like a wide swath of knowledge both in medicine but culturally, right? So we're excited about that. We have Amy Stratton who's going to come on and talk about estate planning. We have Anthony Nardolillo, the president-elect of the Funeral Directors Association. Sadly, we have to talk about the end, right? We have Alice Pace coming in to talk about decluttering. When I go into seminars, I always talk about the 75 boxes of china we have in our basements and boxes that say like, Auntie Mary, Auntie Vera, Grandma. And like, we keep holding on to them. And then we say to our kids, like, do you want them? They're like, no. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about cluttering. We're going to talk to Denise Chicoyan only, who owns Corpus, about staying fit, things you can do for balance and muscle tone and all of those things. We have Helen Hames, who's the age ambassador, who helps families get placed to safe situations in a whole wide range of places and circumstances. And she talks about, the discussions families have to have. And we have Denise Panicius from the executive director of the Samaritans. So she's going to come and talk about this real scourge of loneliness that we have. And that's all ages, but particularly as you get older, loneliness can be really hard. And so I know I have the flyer there. I probably missed someone. I apologize. The other thing is we have a couple of surprises. I'm going to tease out a couple of surprises here. That's coming up. News release on that. I'll get it to you. You can post it on Rhode Island Elder Info. I think a lot of people in the aging space are going to be really thrilled about one of the things we did. And then we have a Rhode Island influencer who has right now, I think, about 35,000 followers. So they're going to join us, and it's going to be a massive surprise for everybody. I think they're going to love it. It's a different vibe. We want everybody to come in, right? And we want to talk about some hard things, but we want to talk about them in a way that's conversational and at ease. Just leave with good information and leave with a good vibe.
This is awesome. And the way people can learn more and get tickets is to go to seniораgendari.org.
Yes. And seniораgendari.org or SACRI.org. They all go there. Sign up for our newsletter, which you can do on the website. There's the flyer. Yeah, I'm so excited, Steph. I just think it's going to be really great. I think it's going to be really great.
That is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm thinking that that QR code, if we hold it still long enough, people will even be able to do it right here in the video. There we go.
Absolutely. Excellent. Yeah. And then the QR codes are on my so follow our socials. We have an Insta, which is fun. I try to update the story, not just on all kinds of stuff, all kinds of fun stuff. And we have a Facebook page. We do stories. We have a YouTube channel, but it's in its infancy right now. I'm working on it. Okay, so I'm getting us out there, and we're on Blue Skies. We're on Blue Sky as well. So you can find us. So find us. Skeet to it. That's what you do on Blue Sky. You skeet. So if you need anything, you can skeet directly to me, which is basically a message. Message me there. Message me on Facebook. Message me on Insta. Go to the website. I always have my work phone. I try to pick up if you call. We've had a couple of calls this week. And listen, if there's any question about anything with this conference, reach out. If it's maybe, look, like you, we're a 501c3, so we'd love for it to be free, but it can't be. So I tried to cut the prices a little bit this year. But if anyone has any problem coming up with any admission, don't worry. We have some underwriters and some sponsors who are happy to make sure that you get your ticket and probably even sit with them at their table. So just reach out.
Wonderful. That is wonderful because, there's strength in numbers, and, the common denominator is that we are all aging one way or another, or, we have folks that we're looking after. And this is a great opportunity to receive information, but also share feedback. And they can give you a call, usually ballpark anytime, obviously not the middle of the night.
That's it. Well, I turn the phone off, so I'll get the message in the morning. So if they have insomnia, which I totally get, you can leave that message. That's on me. Make sure that I answer it the next day. Totally get it.
Carol, I'm so glad. I know with a big conference how much time that takes and work that takes. So I appreciate you coming on today and sharing about this. And happy to say I already bought my ticket.
I know. I actually know that. We're really excited. Again, just to anybody, reach out. And even if it's a policy issue, a policy question, that's what we're good at. So if you have something that's nagging at you, get it to us, because that's what we're here for. So awesome. We're excited. Deb, I can't thank you enough for this opportunity. This is wonderful. And again, keep your eyes peeled. I teased it out. We got some fun stuff coming too.
Very good. So I hope thank you so much. Everybody, this conference is really going to shake things up. It's going to be at the Rhodes on the Patuxent, and it's going to be September 25th. Get your tickets. I expect that it will sell out. And with so many different moving pieces in the policies that are coming out right now, I think it's important that all of our voices be heard. So come on down, reach out to Senior Agenda Coalition. Carol is really that much fun in reality, in face-to-face. If you're having a conversation with her on the phone, you can call and talk to her about anything. She really is wonderful. She is leading the Senior Agenda Coalition of Rhode Island in great directions as strong advocates for all Rhode Islanders. So really looking forward to seeing everybody at the Senior Agenda Conference. Again, that's September 25th at Rhodes on the Patuxent. In the meantime, I'm glad that you have all joined us again this week. I look forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, be well and be kind.